first step is you've got to realise that you're in a rut, and you've got to accept the fact that you're in a rut.
Yeah.
And the signs are you're doing the same things every single day, and you aren't drawing energy from them. You're getting it. You're spending your day like a zombie.
Yeah.
They're the signs. What signs would you say you have when that someone's in a rut?
Exactly that, mate. Like, the signs are just... Well, I think a massive sign... I always try and be transparent and relate it to me, so that I don't offend anyone. But this is literally me when I'm talking, it was denial. I think a massive sign of being in a rut is denial. You're like, no, I'm fine, I'm doing all that I can be. Like, no, you're not. We know deep down, don't we? We know that. It's the ego just trying to sort of keep you comfortable, because the mind doesn't want to go beyond comfort. But when we go beyond comfort, that's when we start to progress. And yeah, it is a lot easier to bloody sit in bed and watch movies all day. And I want to do that a lot of the times, but if we do that, we wouldn't get anything done. You know what I mean? You wouldn't progress at all. So a definite sign, mate, for me was denial.
Yep.
What about yourself?
Yep. No, I think the repetitiveness, the lack of motivation, the lack of trying new things, wearing the same clothes, like that, little things like that. I think so accept that you are in this position, you are in a rut, and then the next step, write down or find your values. Find what at your core is most important to you. And you've got to think to yourself, take away money. What is it that I love? What is it that if I had abundant resources, what would I be doing right now?
Yeah.
What is it that gives me energy, that lights that fire? What's that little fire inside you? What is that?
I feel like I'm interested to know what your fire is, Jack, to be honest. I don't think I've ever actually asked you. What passion is it that you've got, like, as a child, or that you do now, that you don't really tell anyone, or...
It's funny because my passion is the resilience to get out of suffering. So I enjoy suffering because I like pushing myself through it.
Yeah.
So my fire comes from my struggle, I would say. Yeah. So and I relate that to, for instance, the gym, pushing through a new weight, pushing through a new barrier. I relate that to work, for doing something new. I really struggle with doing the same thing all the time. I really struggle with that. And people who know me know that I'm always doing something new, or there's always, whenever you speak to me, there's always something that's overwhelming me.
Yeah.
And deep down, I love that, and I crave that, and I really get energy from that struggle, because it realigns to it's like a fighting instinct inside of me. Yeah. And I think that's probably my value. My value is to fight. It's that fighting mentality of just never giving up. That is my...
Yeah.
Fundamentally, that is my core value.
Yeah. I feel exactly the same, mate. I want to touch on what you've just said about the gym, because I want to ask if you do this as well. What I'll do in the gym, say if I'm doing a heavy weight, or I'm doing a really hard interval when I'm doing cardio, I'll bring into my mind a memory that really fires me up, or that's really hurt me in the past, and I'll get angry over it, and it'll really help me to push more and more, and it sort of helps me process the negative emotions behind that, as well as obviously giving me fuel, bringing out the Rocky in me, whatever you want to call it. But do you ever do anything like that, or?
Well, I do a couple things, actually. I've got two different methods that I use, and you might be able to use one of these, actually.
Yeah.
So the first one, is to go to the darkest place that you can go to. What is the best place to explore your mind is in the gym, because you can go to the absolute pit. You can go to the darkest place.
Yeah.
Use that emotion. Just grab it because when it happens, you get very overwhelmed with this rush of anger, of just, it feels like your body is filling up, and you just pump out you will pump out any PB. You will push your body through anything.
Yeah.
But I also found that I was doing that too much.
Yeah,
I
it
started
becomes
to
an
get
addiction, doesn't
yeah.
it? Yeah.
So I've also got a new method that I use,
Right.
and it started on squats. Actually, I was doing a squat, and I said to myself, in my head, in the back of my head, I was like, you cannot do one more rep. You will fail.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where it came from, but just something in my body said, all right, let's fail then. And then I just went down and I didn't fail it. And I said to myself, any time that you feel like you can't do a rep, you just have to say, well, let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if I'm on bench and I've got no spot, I could be there with a new personal best, and I could say to myself, well, you're either getting it up or you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll just say to myself, well, we'll see. I don't even give myself that chance to rationally say, okay, I agree with you. I'm not even rational about it. I just say, well, let's see what you're made of.
Yeah. And I think when you're doing bench as well, I love the bench, by the way. But when you're doing bench press on your own, there's that sense of, well, if I don't get it up, then it's gonna crush me.
You could spend your time worrying about that and then be too protective, or you could just go, fuck it, let's see.
Yeah, and then you just start pumping yourself up and you're just screaming out the weight, and you really do surprise yourself as to what you do.
You always do it. You always do it.
Yeah. Well, I always say, I always think in my head, and I always say to people, if you said to someone, make sure you get up at 5:15 every morning, and you do a cold shower, and you do everything that me and Jack have spoke about for 3 months straight, and we'll give you £1 million at the end, I can guarantee you that everyone listening would do it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Everyone. Whereas your mental health and physical health is worth way more than £1 million. So if you think of it like that, just think, well, if you do this for 3 months, for example, you're getting way more than that. So treat it like that. Treat it. Do you know what I mean, or not? That's
so inspirational.
I know that is how I got myself out of the rut. Is literally saying that, because it is your wealth. I mean, your health is much more. Like, it's much more valuable than wealth. So you've got to just look at it like that. Change your perspective on stuff. Don't be afraid of letting go of old thought patterns, because I really was afraid of old thought patterns. Don't be afraid of introducing new ones. Open your mind a little bit. Explore. Do you know what I mean, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you've got these new techniques, these new habits that you're developing, make sure you've got someone there who can keep you accountable at the start. Even if you don't, you set like reminders on your phone. Accountability during that stage is incredibly important in developing that habit and making sure you stick to it. And then once you've got that routine, those habits, those healthy habits, and you realise that you're drawing energy, and even though you are getting up at 5:15, you enjoy it, and you find this fire. It's burning with it, because I cannot stress this enough to people who are listening. When that fire is ignited and when it is burning, it literally feels like a fire inside of you.
Yeah. You
feel this energy of, I can do whatever I want. You feel unstoppable. There's times where I've woken up and I've felt like there is nothing in this world that can stop me.
Yeah.
I even tweeted about it once. I was so hyped up. I was so pumped up that I tweeted, there's literally nothing right now that could stop me.
Yeah.
Make sure you develop that and keep to them habits.
Yeah.
But if you can't, and if you do have them days where you really struggle, Lou said it best. Forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Let yourself off. Give yourself that breathing space to just say, okay, I didn't do well today, but tomorrow I've got a clean slate.
Yeah. Get the idea of perfectionism out of your mind, because it's not. It's setting yourself up for failure, and then you're creating yourself a vicious cycle of disappointments. And again, that's one of the reasons why I was in the rut for so long, because I thought, well, it's like you said earlier, it's Friday now, so I may as well just wait until Monday. And then when Monday comes, before you know it, you've been doing it. It's the same thing again till Thursday, and then you do the same thing, and it's almost like a justification in your mind. Just let go of it all and just start. The main thing is starting, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the struggle, is when you're lying in bed and you're feeling crappy and you've got all these subconscious thoughts saying, "Oh, stay in bed." How do you get up? And it's like you say, it's that resilience. I mean, you can even we spoke about it on the last one, but you can just sit there and watch a motivational video.
Yeah.
Put some motivating music on. Do you know what I mean? And before you know it, you're all fired up, and that's the fire then. That's the start of it, and then you can just set yourself up for more and more and more, and I think that's how you build habits anyway.
You know what? I think that this is a good place to end the podcast, but end it with, you just need to start, right?
Yeah.
If this is the morning, if you're listening to this in the morning, do something. Do one thing. Add one thing to your routine that we've spoken about. If this is the night, tomorrow, just start. Just start.
100%, mate, yeah.
So, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate the love and support that you've been sending. Please share this with people. Give them this platform, because right now it is needed more than ever.
Yeah.
Like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, check up on your strong friend.